Okay guys, today we're going to go over the two sections that you had on, what is today? Today is Friday. On Wednesday, I have had some technical difficulties with getting these posted, so we're going to try today and see if this will work. I'm going to go through pretty fast because there's 10 questions for us to go through, and that is an awful lot. Get this where we're annotating over the desktop. There we go. Okay, we're going to start with one of these simple. Choose the sentence that is written correctly. And we have, both Jim and me noticed the mistake. When we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to mark out this part, and we're only going to look at the second half. And it says, me noticed the mistake. But you wouldn't say that. You would say, I noticed, so this one's wrong. How about this? When are you and him coming to see me? Well, let's look and see if him is right. We're going to have to change this to is, and we would say, when is him coming to see me? No, you would say, when is he coming to see me? So this one's wrong. Marilyn and me were elected to the student council. Would you say, remember we have to change the verb form because we're going down to one, me was elected to the student council? No, you would say, I was. So how about the final one? Our family and they have known each other for years. Would you say they have known each other for years? Yes. So D is correct. You've got to break it down to make sure that you're looking at it in a way that matters. So you're looking to see if it's subjective or objective. Okay. Choose a sentence that contains an error. Is that painting in the gallery yours? Notice that yours is spelled without an apostrophe. Pronouns do not take apostrophes to show ownership. No apostrophes for ownership, okay? So that's what we're going to watch. If there's an apostrophe, that means it's a contraction. Beth prides herself on always being neatly dressed. Herself in this case is correct, so we have two that are right. Because the children had no toys, we decided to share ours. Again, ours is correct because there's no apostrophe. If you have watched the Atlanta Braves, you have seen baseball at its best. In this case, this apostrophe means that what we're saying is, it is. And you would not say, if you have watched the Atlanta Braves, you have seen baseball at it is best. That's not what you mean. You need this version of its. No apostrophe. All right, number 3. Choose the sentence in which the uppercase word is correct. This is what I had to go back and change. I had accidentally made 2 of them correct for you because I was just naturally correcting them as I was writing this up in Edmodo. Sorry about that. The first one says, each of them worked long hours in their jobs. Now, I hate this one because it sounds so correct. We would absolutely say this as we were talking, would we not? But it's wrong. And here's why it's wrong. When you have an each, remember I told you the other day, you have to say each one, and you would have each one of them worked long hours in their jobs. Because you're talking about things individually, you can't say their because their is plural. You have to either say his jobs, her jobs, or his or her jobs. And then it sounds wrong, and I'm sorry, but it's actually correct grammar. Brenda and her are coming over tonight to rehearse. You know how to do that one. Mark that out. Would you say her is, or would you say she is? And of course you would say she is. So both of these are wrong. I found Mark and he waiting for me at the other entrance. Would you say I found he waiting for me at the other entrance? No, you would not. This needs to be him. I found him. If every team member plays her best game, we should win easily. Okay, look, here's an every again. So we say one if everyone. Does that match her? And it does. And I think pretty much everybody gets this one wrong. This one's really weird because it's got that every and each rule, which is that when you've got each or every, you have to use singular pronouns instead of plural pronouns. Sorry, I hate it too. All right, number 4, looking for an error. Either Kim or Mary forgot to make her lunch. Remember what I told you about those ors. Scratch out the first part. Mary forgot to make her lunch. Correct, right? The painters brought her own brushes in the truck. Look, this is plural. So if it's plural, it has to be their own brushes, right? So this one actually is the error. Every boy on the soccer team remembered his shoes. Remember, we're following that rule. Both Linda and Terry, so remember this means they, are putting their magazines under the bed. Okay? So B, the painters brought their brushes is the one that needed to be corrected. Number 5, choose the correct word to complete the sentence. Everybody got this one right. Tammy and I, right? We all see that immediately. Tammy and I. Can't say Tammy and me, Tammy and them, Tammy and myself. Everyone got this right. Yay. That was one for us to know what we were doing on. Yay. Okay. 6. Now we're changing. This is going to be our next issue, which is modifiers. With these, what you're looking at is one of two things. According to their document, they said that it'll be about dangling and misplaced modifiers. And I'm going to show you how those work. But that's when there's more information that's added into a sentence and it's in the wrong place, so it gives information about the wrong part of the sentence. A modifier has to be as close as possible to the word that it modifies. The other types of questions for these involve mostly adverbs, where to place an adverb in the sentence, and what you're going to have to look at with those. You generally get those right. That's where should I put the word quite? Where should I put the word almost? And keep the meaning of the sentence as sensible as possible. So the first one, this is a dangling and misplaced modifier, and we're looking for one that's correct. The chirping of the crickets kept us awake camping by the riverbank. Okay, the crickets are not camping by the riverbank. This is incorrect. You have to say the chirping of the crickets kept us awake while we were camping by the riverbank. The crickets aren't camping. Looking for a way out of the traffic jam, he spotted an open alley. Okay, look, who's looking for a way out of the traffic jam? He is. This one's correct. Dedicated to completing the job on time, the rain didn't keep him from laying the bricks. Is the rain dedicated to completing the job on time? No. Preparing for a career in medical research, biology and chemistry are his majors in college. Are biology and chemistry preparing for a career in research? No. So the one that's correct was B. Okay, the next one, choose the sentence that contains an error. So 3 are right. Leaving the dinner dishes in the sink, we went out to a movie. Yay, that's right. We are the ones who left the dishes in the sink. Working on my paper until 1 a.m., I didn't get enough sleep. Was I the one working on my paper? Yes, so that's correct. Throwing the baton high into the air, the majorette impressed the crowd. Did the majorette throw the baton into the air? Yes, it's correct. Speeding across the finish line, the sports announcer praised the race car driver. Did the sports announcer speed across the finish line? No. So this is a misplaced modifier, and that was your correct answer. All right, number 8. Choose the sentence in which almost is used most appropriately. We almost drove to Cypress Park, but our car would not start. Well, that sounds pretty good. Let's keep going. We drove almost to Cypress Park, but our car would not stop. Would not start. Yeah, that one's not going to work. We drove to Cypress Park, but almost our car would not start. We drove to Cypress Park, but our car would not almost start. The only one of these that makes sense is A. We were thinking about driving there, but the car wouldn't start. Just read through all of them and find the one that makes sense. Choose the one sentence in which the uppercase word is an error, okay? With his foot tapping, Russell listened attentively to the music. Well, that's good. That makes sense. Attentively. As the band played into the night, the couples danced continuously. That works. When the music gradually wound down, the crowd dispersed. After eventually all the people had left, the dance floor was quiet. No. What you would have to say is, eventually, comma, after all the people had left, comma, the dance floor was quiet. So that one doesn't work. Just read through them all and see which one doesn't make sense. I think you guys are generally getting those correct, so I'm not going to belabor the point. And the last one, choose the sentence in which quite is used most appropriately. without trying to sound stilted. We were quite upset about the long delay before our bus arrived. That is absolutely right. How upset were you? We were quite upset, right? Quite tells you how. We were upset quite about the long delay. No. We were upset about the long delay quite before our bus arrived. Okay, if you're in England, maybe you would say that. We don't say that. That's not most appropriate use. We were upset about the long delay before our quite bus arrived. Quite cannot modify a noun, and a bus is a thing. You can touch it. Quite has to modify, it's an adverb, right? So it has to modify another adverb, an adjective, or a verb. And that's it for today. We're going to work on active and passive voice next. I know that's difficult. Just remind yourself that you're looking to see if the subject is active. Is the subject doing something? That makes it active. Thanks.